Just wanted to review today how to buy a home with little or no money down. I know that most lenders and the banks and definitely the government doesn't want me talking about this right now. However, just want you to know that there are other options beyond what the media tells us, right? And even though there may not be a lot of situations where these can happen, they still happen. So, first off, option number one. As a buyer referral consultant and buyer referral plus consultant, realtor, my mission's clear: to help people. Okay, and so we've got a special report for you, and that will help you learn how to identify other options for buying a home creatively. So first of all, seller financing. And what that entails is some sellers, not a lot, however some sellers are more than willing to give back a mortgage to the buyer. It's called a seller take-back mortgage. Previously it used to be called a vendor take-back mortgage, right? The point is, if the buyer can't go get conventional financing at the bank, they can still get financing from the sellers, a seller that is willing and financially able to offer that. And there are some sellers that are willing to do that. Just as a general rule of thumb, somewhere around 20 to 25% of all properties have that ability, from what I understand. So it's more than what you think. Now, just because they have the ability doesn't mean that they're willing to do it. However, there are tax incentives and advantages and benefits from the sellers to give a seller take-back mortgage rather than cashing out the whole thing. So, and if you're a seller, we can definitely have that conversation. Option two, you can utilize, as a buyer, you can utilize a tax refund for a cash down payment. And maybe people didn't think about it. However, you could contribute your monies to an RSP, and if you're in a 40% marginal tax bracket, so if you put $20,000 into an RSP at 40%, that's an $8,000 tax refund, and you can borrow for an RSP loan, so you actually generate that $8,000 that otherwise would have just gone to the government in taxes. And so there's an advantage in doing that, okay? And the payments on it are small as well. And then there are special loan programs. Again, I'm not going to get into the details. However, I will tell you this. There is a current program available where they will allow you to put down as minimum the 5% and actually get that 5% from a line of credit or a credit card. So you don't actually have to have the 5% cash sitting there. So again, with our mortgage specialists, we can refer you to that, and they can tap you into that program. And then obviously there's owner financing. What that is that the seller finances a part of the home for your purchase. For example, you get 80% financing from the bank, and the seller might give you the other 20%, okay, or a portion of the 10%. So the seller carries back a second mortgage, right? And it can be very, very advantageous, especially to investors that then rent out the properties. And then there's the rent to own or lease to own. Essentially, they're the same thing. So you rent a home, you make larger payments more than the rent itself, the market rent. So for example, let's say that home's market rent is, let's say, $1,500 a month. Well, your payments might be based on $1,800 a month, so that extra $300 a month is going towards your down payment to eventually buy that home. So as a rent-to-own buyer, you get the advantage of locking in at today's prices and then actually completing the transaction at a predetermined price now, even though it may not actually close with your name on title as the owner for 1, 2, 3 years, or whatever you agree to with the seller. Again, we can facilitate and help you that. That way your money isn't going out the window in rent. and not building any equity, start building equity for yourself. Okay? So those are 5 good options or great options for buying a home with little or no money down. So where's the next best place to begin? Well, contact us and we'll link you up with one of our mortgage specialists and get you pre-qualified properly. Not just a verbal walking in the bank and they'll say, you say you make X, they say, okay, you'll qualify for a mortgage of Y. That doesn't factor in everything in, such as what are your service ratios, how much of your income is actually justifiable and qualifiable, etc. So again, it's all part of our preferred buyers program, or VIP program for buyers. So contact us and we're happy to help you out. And we'll talk soon. Thank you.